Well. Here we are again. I'm going to do a little show today on a little bit of politics. We're going to talk about Vermont's Attorney General, a little health care, a little bit about housing. But first, if you don't know me, some people used to call me the governor. Some people would call me the mayor of the town. I've been called the crybaby, the whiner. Well, let me tell you, I'm a past fighter. My name's Paul Reis, and I can't fight, like I told you, in the ring anymore. But on political issues, I believe we need to hold all accountable politicians. We have a presidential campaign coming up where Robert Kennedy Jr. is running for president. Media is not even mentioning him, but media is important. And I'm going to dedicate this show, like I said, my name's Paul Reis, to my past English teacher, was John McAuliffe. He gave me a grade years ago, 42 years ago, from the Bellows Falls High School. And we used to do news media from our high school, and I could only do a program that was 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. So John, I dedicate this to you that have come a long way. I can do a half-hour program or an hour program. But today, the show is going to be, should Vermont's Attorney General step down under the controversy with state police being charged criminally? My opinion is going to be shared to you. You don't have to agree, and it's all about debate on politics and everything. But here we're going to start the show. Try to laugh a little, enjoy it. I was once a coach, helped with Pee Wee football, and you had to, as a coach, learn respect from your players as a leader. And as we start the show, I'm going to blow the whistle, and you have to be able to follow commands. Okay? Sometimes as a coach, a leader, you give the command. And you have to be respected by the players or you're disciplined. I believe that Vermont's Attorney General, this is my personal belief, needs to resign. I believe she's lost respect of her colleagues from the Vermont State Police to local by trying to charge 2 officers for responding to a call out in Newfane for an issue that took place. They did their job and responded at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And as a former bouncer at a club, you have to take control of a situation very quickly. So I'm going to teach you a few things. A lot of these politicians and everyone says, oh, they're ready to fight. They're going to throw the jabs at each other. They don't even know what a fight is. They don't even know what a jab is. What a jab is, you throw with your left. You throw with your left to set up your right, okay? You set up your opponent, okay? You have mouth guards in a fight, okay? So your teeth don't get busted. You got front and you got the lower and the top mouth guards. I believe Charity Clark has set up a fight with the Vermont State Police, and she's going to lose the fight. She's lost her respect. Already took the job for 3 months. I'm actually not impressed with my opinion. The reason I say that, it came out in the paper to contact the AG's office for consumer assistance on any type of help you wanted. Well, Miss Clark, I called your office. Nobody responded to me. I mailed you a letter March 30, 2023 with some of my concerns that I wanted some protection under the law for issues that happened a long time ago. Nobody even responded to me. In the article, it says that you're working with the UVM College assistance program, and they've helped recover $400,000, I believe, for consumer assistant type issues. And it said they'll respond back within 3 days. I called over and over. Nobody even responded to me, so I'm sorry. Unless you got a bad banana, do not call the Attorney General's office, because I believe they're not going to help you. They certainly didn't even have the courtesy to return my call. Other departments from the Department of Motor Vehicles immediately called me back within a day. I had concerns with the Department of Labor, Workman Comp. They respectfully called me back, and things were taken care of. So your office you're in charge of needs to be able to answer the telephone. I said before and told everyone, do not call the state. They won't call you back. David Zuckerman's secretary was very respectful to me and listened to my concerns, so I thank her. But Charity Clark, my phone never rang here for 2 months. So I'm asking you as a taxpayer to step down. Sure, you work for me, I pay a portion of your salary. Okay? I don't even pay $1 towards your salary based on the residents here. But you know what? I probably pay a penny, a half a cent towards your salary. But you still work for me. All of you in Montpelier. If you like it or not, whatever, you can respectfully disagree. I asked the past Attorney General to step down. I don't know why he did, but you know what? He did the right thing. So either way, I believe she should step down. It will spark conversation amongst people within the state. But if you already have started off on a rocky start, do the right thing. Yes, there is 97% good officers in the state of Vermont. But you know what? There is one bad apple out there. So the bad apples you need to root out, like I said before. But basically, it's a bad marriage that started off between the top law enforcement agency and the state police. A bad marriage. And if it's going to be a bad marriage right from the start, you need to do the right thing and be done with it. But that's my issue on the Attorney General's situation. Now we're going to go talk a little bit about health care. Yes, I have a little bit of mental health issues. From time to time, I have post-traumatic and I flare up. And if you're one of these citizens in Vermont that have this thing called Medicare or Medicaid, it's basically garbage. I had a flare-up, got re-triggered a couple weeks ago on an article that I read about how great Ben & Jerry's were. And I started to shake, recognize my trigger points. I usually go to a local therapist, but she doesn't take Medicare because it's garbage. Unless I have $65 in my pocket, nobody sees you. I recognized I needed to see someone. So I did the right thing, drove to the Bellows Falls Police Department and asked the dispatcher if I could meet with the mental health counselor, Christine. She was so nice, come out for 15 minutes, talked with me, and calmed me down. So I believe everyone in this United States of America should have access to health care if it's for addictions or anything. So basically when these politicians tell, oh, everything's great, well, it's not great. Your health plan is garbage. A dentist, don't take it. Well, I don't even take medicine no more. I don't even see a doctor because I don't have the extra money and the luxury to pay the bills. Now we're going to show you a little photo. John F. Kennedy Jr., like I said, he's running for president, and the media doesn't even acknowledge him. His uncle, John F. Kennedy, in 1956, 1957, it's quite a bit of history repeating itself. He visited Bellows Falls, and this is a picture of him in front of the Polish Sacred Heart Church kneeling in front of the shrine. So it's quite ironic that his relative would be running now. And when I did the program about possibility of the CIA killing a president of the United States, Robert Jr., he's actually spoke kind of on the same issue here on national television. So maybe what Mr. Reis is saying, there's some truth to a few things. Once again, this is a picture of when he came to Bellows Falls, like you said, and this is in front of the church here. So there's a lot of history. And I believe that the Democrat and the Republican parties are really misleading the people. Should Trump be getting all the attention for his bad doings? Maybe we need to dig into Joe Biden's bad doings a little. Maybe we need to start digging into Hillary Clinton's. There's a lot of stuff that isn't being shared with the media. And the media also isn't even reporting that John F. Kennedy Jr. is running for president. They already have picked your candidate and don't even want you to have a choice. This isn't right. But Charity Clark, I gave you a report card like I got a report card 42 years. And your report card so far since January is a C. You need much improvement on your communications and your staff by answering the telephone to the citizens that put you in that office. And I'm one that voted for you and was hoping you would go after Ben & Jerry's under the Consumer Assistance Program and hold them accountable for the 5 workers that were held off the ground and assaulted with a board. But I've just never heard from you. So there's bigger issues you could go after rather than attacking the state police for simply doing their job. We're going to talk about Phil Scott a little. Phil, I vote for you every year as governor. I never seen you down here in southern Vermont. Yeah, no, you don't respond to any of my letters. It's been about a year. I only mailed you one letter, sent it certified, just like Charity Clark's. See this, Phil? It's a hammer. How many years have you and Bernie Sanders known that we need 50,000 homes in the state of Vermont? Okay? Get the hammer out and the nails. You got state forests. Take some trees down. Maybe employ local lumber mills that want to saw up some lumber and start building 50,000 houses. I mean, it's disgusting that Bernie's been in office all these years, yourself, and why ain't the hammer moving? Well, I believe you got a lot of people that just don't want trees cut down here in the state of Vermont. Well, you need to start sawing some trees down and moving ahead. Another big issue while we're talking about the governor, I am thankful that you tried to veto the green energy thing. I mean, give people a choice. If you want to buy an electric vehicle, it's your choice. If I want to buy a gas vehicle, I want my choice. I do not want this state run like a dictatorship. I have a furnace, an oil-fired furnace, and I see no pollution coming out of my furnace. None. It's brand new. So I don't buy all this green energy thing, and I actually would agree maybe with Donald Trump that we need to drill oil in this country and make some things in this country. Because this lithium thing with a battery, all you're going to do, 95% of all these batteries and lithium are going to come from China, and you're using child labor. So, don't cave into all these big corporations. Another little issue I'm going to talk about is Elizabeth Warren. I watch from time to time. She says, nobody's above the law when she's talking about Donald Trump. No one's above the law. Well, Elizabeth Warren, I want to remind you, Ben & Jerry's is above the law. When Vermont workers go to work and get beat with a board, I think that's against the law. All right? Bernie Sanders, you spoke out about Starbucks and all their labor issues. Like I told you over and over, your own backyard, there's many labor issues. You just look the other way, but that's how that plays out. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about honesty. See these little candles here in front and this little cross necklace thing I had? I think maybe when I made my first communion. I had to learn about telling the truth when I was a kid. And as a Catholic, we learned about 10 commandments, about not stealing, not lying, doing the right thing, not going after the neighbor's wife. You know what I'm saying? There's some rules you had to follow. So I would say to everyone running for political office in this country, go back to the foundation. Do you honestly, like the American dollar says, in God we trust? I mean, God doesn't want you to lie. And I've seen this nation, I'm sorry, Republicans and Democrats, local politicians, state, have become liars. If I ever lied to my father growing up, he would tell you once, and you would get cold-cocked and backhand, and you never lied again. So what I'm saying to you American politicians, it's a time for you to start telling the American people the truth. We are not idiots. We can see through the bullshit from top media to corporations, and you're not going to mold us. We will fight back, okay? You got us against the ropes. The American people are going to fight back on every issue. Jab, 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 knockout, okay? Now we're going to get ready to wrap up the program. As we come into Memorial Day, I really reflect, and it's sad, because everyone that gave their lives to this country for the American dream, okay? I didn't have family members, I don't believe, that ever died in a war, but they served in every war, okay? I have one brother was a captain in the Marine Corps. Very proud for him. He was in charge of the Philippine infantry unit, okay? He did his country well. My brother Peter served in the Marine Corps in the infantry and suffered an emotional injury which he suffers his whole life from losing one of his best friends in an accident. I thanked them for their service. I thank my uncle. Johnny was shot twice in World War II. I thank my Uncle Steve Cisco, who was in the OCS, jumping out of planes, and relatives. And I says, you know, they made it back safely and survived. But all those that didn't make it back from war, I don't think they would be happy seeing what they fought for in this nation wasn't about lies and untruths. They wanted people with a right to go to work, not be beaten with a board. They wanted a police officer to go to a job and not be charged criminally from trying to do the right thing to de-escalate a serious situation. And as a former bouncer at a nightclub, you could tell people no more than 3 times. And you took their head, and you had to sometimes throw their head through the door, out the door, and make sure they didn't come back. Because if you didn't, the thing would escalate. But what I'm trying to tell you, do theatrical therapy. If you have any disagreements with me on this show, do your own show. I have stirred up commotion sometimes on local budgets, school budgets, and that. It's my opinion. The bottom line is everybody passed everything, every budget. Look forward to your tax bill in August. You guys have nobody to blame but yourself when you get the big tax bill. And but you know what? I can only speak for me, and I do have a right to voice my opinion. I think my past teacher would be proud of me for speaking more than 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and I could go on for hours. But you know what? This is actually theatrical therapy for me, for someone that had disability and a rough life. Emotional and physical abuse, it's hard to heal from it, and it still happens today. I actually had one friend, it was very hurtful. He was actually a state trooper for 25 years, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Reis," he says, "I understand that pot makes you stupid, but," he says, "you know what?" He says, "You were always stupid anyways in school." And I had to laugh. I don't know what kind of psychology class you took or whatever, but that's emotional abuse. You don't do that to people. I says, if you want to walk in my shoes, know what I've been through in life, I bet you'd either be reaching for the alcohol or some type of drug yourself, maybe a little weed. So, you know, I can laugh about it now, but if anyone wants to fight with me, I said, I'm willing to actually put the gloves on and put the mouth guard in and smack each other around and shake hands when we're done. But that's going to be it for today's show. But I just wanted to throw that out and let my view go on Charity Clark. But I do, Charity, believe it's time. It's a bad marriage that needs to get separated with the state police and you, or you're going to have ongoing trouble next 5, 10, 15 years, whatever you serve. And just do the respectful thing. I thank you for your short time of service, and I'm sure people will disagree with me, but when a trooper goes out and does their job, willing to put their life on the line any day, any law enforcement, sure there's bad apples, but you know, they're trying to do the right thing and don't need to be charged criminally. And I'm glad Judge Hayes recognized that, and I'm glad Judge Hayes recognized one of my situations before, and I'll end it with that. And like I said, all of you try to have a good Memorial Day with your families, and really remember the ones that are no longer here, and ask yourself truly if all these wars of blowing people up, killing people, if it's really worth it. I mean, I try to enjoy life each day, for I lost a good friend this past year, and it's hard because life goes by fast, and hopefully someday my kids will see that I try to stick up for their worker rights, human rights, civil rights, and hopefully we'll be at a better place this next election and really turn this country around. All right, thank you very much and for watching the show.